please, can I have some advice here? Asking for a friend, right? He has just signed an offer to purchase and the buyer has accepted his offer. Did bond finance through one of the banks. He's now busy with the conveyancer. How long will he be allowed to get his finances in order so that they can transfer that property into his name?
Just help me out there, Bruno. He says he got a bond already. It sounds like the friend.
Did bond
the friend does have a
through
bond.
one of the banks? Did bond finance through one of the banks?
So it sounds like that part of the transaction's already been completed. Your suspensive conditions in terms of an offer to purchase, where they say you have 7 or 20 or 21 or 30 or whatever amount of days to obtain bond finance. And if it doesn't happen, the agreement will lapse completely as if there was nothing. That, it sounds to me like that box has already been ticked. He did obtain finance, and now the question is, how does this work? So behind the scenes, what's happening is the transferring attorneys, typically you would have two separate sets of attorneys. So you have your bond attorneys and you have your transferring attorneys. The transferring attorneys must now obtain the clearance figures from the municipality. So for your rates and taxes and utilities, they must get the tax clearance certificates if there's tax payable on this transaction. So the transferring attorneys are doing all of that. The transferring attorneys will be the ones that make contact with the bond attorneys. The bond registration attorneys and the transferring attorneys must work very closely together. Luckily, this is a very standard part of the transfer process. So the transferring attorneys will make contact with the bond attorneys. As soon as they register, the money gets released to the transferring attorney's trust account. There will be guarantees delivered. And you will see in terms of your offer to purchase, it will say that the guarantees must be delivered in X amount of days, typically around 30 days. So guarantees, if in the context of be it a bond or a cash transaction, whatever the case might be, guarantees get delivered, and on registration, those guarantees will be fulfilled. The money will be paid into the transferring attorney's trust account, not the bond attorney's trust account, and that money will then be transferred to the seller. So there will be timelines in terms of your lease agreement. The lease agreement, look at me being the rental lawyer now, in terms of your offer to purchase. So just have a look at that. But the transferring attorneys are pretty much in control at this point, so you don't have to stress too much. If you've got your bond finance, you've accepted that, and there's been bond attorneys appointed, you should be cool. They'll talk to each other, the bond and transferring attorneys. If one of them are particularly slow, the other one will moan about it, so don't stress about that.
And maybe just address the purchaser liability for certain cost and fees and stuff like that, because that might also be where he's going with this. Like, how long does he have to pay? How long does he have before he needs to start paying these amounts?
Oh yes, and the thing is, it will have to happen either in terms of the offer to purchase, but I mean, none of those things are set in legislation, so it will be from your offer to purchase, and there aren't really standard time periods for this. It will be 100% dependent on the OTP.
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally agree. So what I find with a lot of OTPs, it's once you enter into the contract, there's no expectation that there will be a delay at all. So these OTPs are totally founded on the transferring attorneys going, come, it's time now. So yes, you may have 6 months to pay transfer duty to SARS, but that doesn't give you an entitlement of 6 months. That gives you a cap of 6 months. Normally, unless the contract states otherwise, exactly what Cilna said, you have to move as soon as you're asked to move.
Exactly, and most offers to purchase will say each party will do everything in their power to get you transfer as quickly as possible. So if the other party feels like you dragging your feet a little, they may place you on terms and say, okay, but now you have 14 days or whatever to do what you have to do. Come.
Yeah.
But they can't just cancel the agreement and you lose the deal. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, absolutely.